Hey y'all, welcome to Convos with Bree. Today is day 16. Happy June 1st, everybody. I am today was so wonderful because I woke up still thinking about some of the things that people said to me yesterday, which also made me start thinking back to all of the wonderful things that y'all have said to me over the years. And really, I think I just took a lot of time yesterday to really seal in how magical this is and how special this truly is, this journey that I'm on. And I've been back home in the Quad Cities and I have been running into people that I just love and seeing them out in the wild. And it's so sweet how excited we are to see each other. And everyone that I've gotten to spend time with thus far and have conversations with and do these just wonderful places of connection with, I am just overjoyed of how incredible this has all been. And yesterday, I got a lot of people yesterday reaching out to tell me how much they love this. And one of my friends just sent me some screenshots that they were listening to the podcast, and she said the kids were all just running around and they were like, we just love listening to her talk. And it was so sweet. It's just like, it literally brought tears of gratitude to my eyes. And so many of you have just come up to me when I'm out and about and said, hey, you helped me take the leap and move. You helped me like repair my marriage. You helped me all of these things. There's so many beautiful comments that just come flooding in. And I talk a lot about how mean people are because when people are nice, I don't think that the majority of the world is struggling with hearing something kind. I think more so that is where someone will struggle to take it seriously or to actually allow themselves to hear the great thing that this person is saying about them, or they back it up with a belief that for whatever reason it's not a real compliment or it's not true or it's not important, things like that. So we might not be taking in the gratitude, but it's not hurting us to hear the gratitude. But when we hear the negative, the mean feedback, and the things that people do to hurt us, those are the things that we typically carry with us. So I have previously always talked about that more because I know that more people are alone and need help there. But it is so important to talk about the gratitude. And honestly, that is where I do spend most of my time because I do understand that if I'm not feeling grateful, if I am not slowing down enough and looking around at all the beautiful things that are around me, I will miss them. And I know how easy it is for those little pieces of negativity to get in and stay in and derail us away from gratitude, away from our high level frequencies. So today, I just really want to soak this in some more about how in the past, when I heard these things, I still didn't give them enough power. I still didn't align them with a deep truth. So I knew I was doing good things, and I knew that people were being honest when they would tell me how I was inspiring them. Shoot, y'all, when I went on Paula Sands Live to talk about the books, Paula was, oh my God, I love her. I love her so much. The minute, and keep this in mind, I actually have worked a lot of events previously that Paula would be at. Our paths crossed a lot of times. I actually even scheduled an appointment years and years and years and years and years ago for my son, my mom, and I to go up to the weather station. Eric Maitland was such a doll. He literally wrote me right back when I told him that my young son was having a really hard time with the weather. He was always very afraid that there would be a tornado and that something horrible would happen to us. And he just didn't have enough information to understand why a tornado wouldn't just like happen right now in the middle of the day and swoop us all away. And so he was starting to get more fearful and develop more fears about being away from his family, about being away from his safe spaces, about us not being in the basement altogether. And I wrote to Eric Maitland and I had asked him if I could bring Caden in and if he could give us a tour and maybe explain to him how they know when something is coming. And I really thought it was a long shot. I did not think that there was any way that they would allow this. He said we could come in when everything was done. Nobody was there so that like we could really have full reign to come in and like see it all. He let Caden do the green screen and he sat up in the where they sit when they do it. And oh God, he had the time of his life. He was no longer ever afraid. Like not at all in that. Like even in when there was something bad that was happening and we were getting tornado alerts, he was so calm because he understood what was happening and what they were telling us and what they were reading on their end. It was beautiful. I totally give it up to KWQC and all the good that they've done for all of these people just in the community, and love them. Can't speak highly enough about all of that experience. But one of the funny things was my mom loves Paula Sands, always has watched it. And we got to sit in her studio also. And she wasn't there, but my mom and Caden, I have so many pictures of them like in there, and they were having such a good time. And it was so fun for all of us. And then all these years later, here I am sitting in her studio talking about the books. And there was one moment, oh, it just warms my heart, even just thinking about it. She looked at me, it was such a heartfelt moment. And she said something along the lines of, oh, you really believe this is true for everyone. And she saw me so clearly in that moment. My goodness, my belief in all of us as a collective. And it changed something that day. I felt it. I felt something connect. I don't know if it was just that I was real, that there are really people out here like this. I don't know if it reminded her of herself. I don't know what it was. But it was such a beautiful moment, and it felt so good sitting on the other side of that. And I just am so grateful for everyone that took a chance on me, for everyone that has supported and loved me, for everyone that has listened, for everyone that has read my books, for everyone that read the blog and still continues to follow along with anything that I'm doing, the new people that join in. I'm just obsessed with the journey. And it has been so beautiful. And I'm really starting to realize how much beauty I did miss along the way because I was so clouded by what felt scary and what felt overwhelming or just fearful. Like it just I let the scary and the hurt and the pain take me away from gratitude at times. And that's okay. It's human. It happens to all of us and we learn. But now I'm learning, looking back, I can see it's just how much time I really wasted spinning these negative emotions, trying to sort them and figure them out and find a way that they didn't hurt me every time I thought about that person or what they had said or did or didn't do. Whatever, I was just trying to figure it out. So I can't really say it was wasted time because I was figuring it out. But I realized like how much time and energy I was really giving it to it. And I realized when I looked at gratitude, I didn't give it the same amount of time or effort or energy. And I kind of treated it like it's always there and it will always come back when I need it. But this is where I want to spend my time and energy, is figuring this out and figuring out how to not be hurt by this. But now that I've done so many things differently and changed so much of the way that I look at all of this, I understand it just doesn't really matter the way that I thought that it mattered. If someone wants to be mean, if someone wants to try to hurt me, let them. I don't care anymore like that because the only person they're hurting is themselves. I am always going to land. I'm always going to be okay. I will always find my way through. And I don't have to study so hard on the negative. I understand it. I understand it. And if somebody wants to have a conversation, we can. But now I think it's just about if somebody shows up and they want to be mean, I can show up and ask my questions that bridge my mediation way of living. I can bring that to whoever it is. And if they don't want it, if they just want to be angry and they just want to shout, all I have to say is that this isn't for me. And if they want to have a kind building conversation, I'm always down to meet up. And it doesn't mean it has to be perfect because we're all learning. But it just means that they just have to respond well and be able to come back on track with me. But I no longer have to sit and listen to the bullshit, y'all. I don't. And really, none of us do. None of us have to take that on. None of us have to feel those feelings and spiral and spin into this whole place of why? Why is this happening? Why would they say that? Why would they do that? Why does it hurt? How do I make them see? How do I make this better? How do I bridge this gap? How do I make them love me? How do I make them see me? How do I make them hear me? It's too much work. I was doing too much. They were clearly showing me that they were not ready for me and that they did not respect me. They did not care for me. They did not love me in that moment. All they loved was their negative energy. That was it. They were in a committed relationship with their negative energy in those moments. And I was trying to tell them why they shouldn't be with that form of their energy. And that's not for me to do. It's for me to listen. It's for me to hear them clearly because I can, because I've worked so hard to get here. It's for me to clearly see where this doesn't feel good to me. And This doesn't feel like somewhere I want to spend my time. And that's enough. And all I have to say is that. All I have to say is this conversation is not fun for me. If we can try a different way, I'm always here. But that's it. I don't have to give it another thought. I don't have to give it another second of energy. And I can go to where it feels good. I can make my whole life consumption of gratitude. The conversations with the people who are dying to talk to me, who have been thinking about this for years or months, or even they're just in that moment so excited. I understand it. I'm here. I get to choose what conversations I want to have and how much of my life I want to give to others and how much of my energy is going where. And it feels incredible because I've never, ever been in this power before. I've never been in this place before. I have always thought that I just had to take on anything that came my way. And I thought that I had to be the one to bridge the gaps because if I don't do it, who will? But I had a conversation the other day with Marco that was tough about how sometimes I have to tell him what it is that I need. And then I have to let him sit in his own understanding of how his energy has been affecting me or the ways that he has been going about certain things. And it does take him to a hard place. But he said, if you always fix it for me, then how do you ever expect me to learn? And he said, I need to go through the hard things with myself. And that's how I meet you in the middle. That's how I learn to mediate. That's how I learn to change how I'm bringing things to the table and speaking with a better tone and better energy and more clarity. So you don't have to feel sad about letting me go to my hard places. And that really changed a lot for me. I do have to let people go to their hard places. I'm asking great questions. I'm asking things that are real, and I'm looking for real, genuine truth. Not perfect answers, truth. Because truth is where we can both start to understand what it is we actually need to bridge this gap. What we both actually need in order to understand how to treat each other better going forward and to deepen our connection and our relationship. And somebody that isn't ready to do that isn't in a space where they can meet themselves honestly about what we are currently talking about. So it is for me to say in those moments whatever it is I need to say. But it is not for me to fix or to force or to change. I plant a few seeds, and if it's not my garden, I go home. I come back to my own garden and I water the plants. I nourish the ground. I take care of myself. And whenever they cross my mind, I picture their garden flourishing with all of the things that they want. And I picture them learning and going through the challenging things and coming out on top and going to really hard spaces where it feels like everything burns down. But I see them rise and I see them appreciating what they've grown and what they've done and who they are and all the beauty that is around them. That's what's for me. It doesn't matter if it's where they truly are. It doesn't matter if it's real. Somewhere deep within my world, it is. And for me, I think that that always allows them hope. Because if they tether into me, that's what they're going to feel. Hope, love, understanding, gratitude. Because even in the space they teach me, they grow me, and they get me another step further. Because every piece of this is something. Every single part of this is for us. It's really just how we look at it. And I want to look at it from a place of even more gratitude. Less worry. More beauty. Remember, y'all, nothing that is meant for you will miss you. Plant your garden, water it, nourish it, and enjoy every step of the process, even when it's hard, even when it feels impossible. Understand you're learning, and you will learn and grow more in these moments. You will fail forward, and eventually you will just succeed, and everything will look different. And you are capable of absolutely everything that you desire. Thanks for being here, y'all. Let's have a beautiful day.